The meeting was opened at 7:05. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sakshi. So you had the uh, generous attitude of waiting for 5 more minutes to get all the other participants who were joining, and you started the meeting. There was little bit of swapping of role when we were present here, and Toastmaster Asia became the sergeant at arms. Fine, but it was gently and very effectively done. And thank you very much, Toastmaster Amina, for reminding. And it took over very well. Acting President, Toastmaster Sakshi. So it's not an easy task. I'm not mentioning this as a flaw in the meeting, but how you handled the situation. There can be some background work done prior to the meeting, which will solve all these confusions, last minute confusions. But definitely, Toastmaster Asia could do her best by bringing in the PowerPoint presentation, and it was like all lit up, giving us an idea about the Toastmasters meeting and what are the ground rules. So thoroughly, I loved that presentation, and I think everybody would have got an idea about it, clear-cut idea about the meeting, the flow of the meeting. Moving on to the presidential address. Thank you, Toastmaster Sakshi, for wearing too many hats today, but definitely you never let off any of the hats fall down. It was definitely a fantastic juggling of roles, but you did it well. A big round of applause. Introducing the guests, welcoming everyone, that warmth we felt starting from the beginning till the end. Thank you very much to every one of you, and especially to the acting president. What more can be done is that you can give us an overall scenario of like where you stand as a club in your division, in the district division area. So a little bit more you can educate. And about the paths, I found that in your agenda, it's really good. Now there is a little bit changes and we have 6 paths, right? So you have mentioned all these details in your agenda. But when, as a presidential address, when you are doing that rule, definitely throw light on these parts so that the new members and guests get to know about it. Thank you very much. Well played. Now, introduction of the TMOD happens. And who is the TMOD over there? What role does she play? I was like taken back to my nostalgic memories where the bedtime stories happen with mom or sister sitting beside me, opening the book and slowly getting through each and every page. You did a great job. Let us give her a big round of applause, our Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Nisha. So we could understand you have done each and every page with a lot of patience, and you have understood. Really, if you have to impart it to us, then you have thoroughly read it. And that's where this kind of a knowledge you are able to throw light to that, whatever role you have taken, and to the audience. So we are really grateful for all the efforts that you have put in. The flow of the meeting was very good as TMOD was explaining every part of the meeting, as well as very good introductions for every role player. You never missed on getting the introduction. That is very important in a meeting, which you did diligently, and keeping track of the time. So a meeting which goes beyond the expected time limit is something like it is later part of the day also, and we all are getting tired eventually. So definitely you all met all the requirements of like keeping that whip in your hand and maintaining time limits as required. Thank you very much for that. And every role player had been well informed about their role. That is the beauty of the meeting. And that is where we all get truly involved in what is the discussion going on. So thanks for that. Timer, grammarian. I wish there should have been an R counter also, because being a general evaluator, I'll escape that whatever scrutinizing will happen in the R counter role. But definitely, we need an R counter where these role players are going to be the leadership role players, and they are going to give you that feedback for refining your speech and how you're going to present it to your audience. So more effectiveness we can expect in the future speeches. So thank you very much for doing that role. Moving on to the speaking segment. Thanks to both the speakers who brought in very good topics to discuss. And it's uh, like a tough situation when we are doing it online. It's not that like everything will work according to our expectations, but they did manage to do that. So let's give them a big round of applause for taking up the challenge of doing the speech. And Toastmaster Badria, already you have been evaluated by Toastmaster Sakshi very well. And my job is not to evaluate you now, but to evaluate your evaluator. So I really liked it, like how you presented two faces and one coin. So most of us, we do that, right? So now coming on to, she also stressed in her speech, these leadership role players are playing an important role in a Toastmasters meeting. Didn't you say that? So every role is very important and it's shaping you up to become a very effective speaker. So now moving on to the role played by our evaluator. Fantastic observation. You had given her step-by-step points to improve on and do a much better way of presenting her speech. It's very difficult when you have very good speakers presenting on stage and find the improvement areas. And you did a great job today, effectively giving her the right suggestions. One suggestion that I would like to add to whatever suggestions you have given is she already told Toastmaster Badria that you have to adjust the camera in such a way that at least we can see till your chest, and we can understand what you are trying to, like with your actions, the emotions that you're trying to express. More than that, one more thing, what you can try to excel is that try to stand and speak. So whatever you are going to express is like we can visualize. So that story is going to be like very much embedded in our memory for a long time. And that call to action should be like more effective. So only these things that I wanted to add to whatever evaluation has been given by Toastmasters Sakshi. Now moving on to our second speaker, Toastmaster Shehnaz. Thank you for bringing in that topic. Do you have 8 minutes? So I was wondering, so is she going to ask us 1 more minute to speak? And is it going to be a longer speech? Now it's my duty to evaluate your evaluator, Toastmaster Anu. Toastmaster Anu, thank you very much. You had given a very clear-cut suggestion for your speaker, like attempting to stand and speak, giving her the idea to bring in a topic which will be like very much suiting to the purpose of the speech. So all these suggestions have been really like the technical part of it. You had analyzed and you had given very good suggestions, and to the speaker a little bit of like throw of emotions. And because in Toastmasters we try to practice the extreme level of like speaking scenarios, so that wherever we go we can modulate and speak according to the audience. So that is where we have to be like practicing all types of requirements which are told for a speech. So a little bit of vocal variety and trying to stand and speak, as your evaluator had mentioned. So I really appreciate both the evaluators for putting forth all the technical requirements for the speech and giving it a very, what to say, quality evaluation. So kudos to both the evaluators on that. Did I miss out on the table topics segment? Table topics, Master Amina. What a research you have done. Hats off to you. So, reading through the book, giving each one a scenario from the book, and then giving a connecting topic. So, it was like well thought, because she wanted to include everybody in the meeting, those who have read and those who have not read the book. One suggestion for you is, let it be a quick and crisp one. So when you give the topic, if it is a one-liner, then it would be like easy for the member or the guest to remember and then speak on that. If it goes to 3 lines and to recollect, so time saving, we can think about saving on time by giving crisp ones, and which is easily like uh, people are able to understand and revert. So thank you very much for that, bringing in very innovative and thoughtful topics. All the participants, you had taken up the challenge and done that. Even I thought for a moment which character I should opt for, but everybody who volunteered, hats off to you. So you had taken up the challenge and you had literally won our hearts. So have I covered all the role players?
Yes.
So thank you very much for the word Sundoku. So today, attending this meeting, I will not pile up like Sundoku, lot of books and not reading. I would go back and read all the books that you are suggesting in your meetings. Thank you so much. And over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sasipriya, for that wonderful general evaluation covering all the role players and giving us the needed feedback that we will take forward.